everybody. What's up? What's up? What's up? Kamaka Brown here with the Aloha Friday Show. Presented by the Sandwich Islands Social Network. It's a 501c3 nonprofit that serves the Pacific Islander Hawaiian communities wherever they are. And you can find out more about Sandwich Islands Social Network, bottom right-hand corner of your screen, sandislands.org. That's where you can go if you'd like to be a sustaining member of our ohana. Help us continue to do the work we do. We'd welcome your support. Check us out, sandislands.org. And we are just glad that you decided to join us, and we will be with you in just a moment. Alrighty then. Thank you to the many Hoonies for delivering our signal on time. We love it. Hey, you guys are awesome. On our show today, we are so pleased to have Hawaii's top-selling female artist of all time, a legacy of voice and music, a bona fide Hawaiian storyteller, get plenty mo'olelo, and we know she's going to share some with us today. She's an 18 na Hoku Hanohno Award winner, 6-time Grammy nominations for Best Hawaiian Music Album and Best Native Roots Music Album. She has definitely made a wonderful contribution to the legacy of Hawaiian music and a number of other genres of music as well. My name is Kamaka Brown. Thanks so much for joining us. And one more time, I want to say mahalo to Brittany Paiva. You see her picture there in the upper left-hand corner. Brittany is so talented and such a sweetie. Mahalo, Brittany, for letting us use your music as a theme song for the Aloha Friday Show. Please go to any of the music platforms that you use to download music and download any of Brittany's music. She has numerous CDs that are out there and a lot of original music, and that's just a beautiful thing. Mahalo, Brittany, we love you. Thank you so much for being part of our Aloha Friday Show. And talking about the Aloha Friday Show right now, and we're going to be talking about her concert coming up here in Southern California, October 4th, and that's just a short time away. But before we jump into that, I want to say good morning, because still early on Maui side, right, Amy? What time?
Yes.
What? 9 o'clock. I got you up early. Oh my goodness.
9:04.
9:04. Yep. and you know, there's an old Menehune saying, yeah, that a rolling pohaku gathers no limu. Now, that I'm sorry, but that's you. Which direction are you? There, yeah. You were in Vegas. You were in Arizona. You can I catch up with you, girl?
You just gotta bang it out.
You was in the lo'i up to your knees.
I was in the lo'i up to my knees before I went to Arizona. I literally had to hide my toes on Hawaiian Airlines because I was so embarrassed. I was like, when I walk on all the, flight attendants, they all know me. It's like I'm like hiding my feet underneath the seat just because I didn't have a second to do my toenails.
Oh, funny.
them.
Well, you took some of Hawaii with you, literally.
I did, literally.
Yeah. And the kupuna are so proud of you, They said, that's our girl. Look at her taking some of the, the lo'i with her.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm starting to tear up about that. Bust up the pedicure. That's okay.
Bust up the pedicure. My cousins that were at the family reunion with me, they helped me organize it. I sent them a text. I'm like, look at my toes. They're laughing hysterically. I'm like, don't you dare post that online. So I told my daughter right when I got in, I have to go get a pedicure right away. And the little Korean lady was looking at me like, what happened to your toes? Like,
oh my goodness. Well, I have to tell you, we've been doing the Aloha Friday Show for about 5 years now. And this is the first time we started our show talking about toenails and
right. Sorry.
you know, we can take the Hawaiians out of the country, but you can't
Yeah,
take the country out of the Hawaiians or whatever it is.
yeah,
Oh my goodness.
yeah, exactly.
You have some wonderful projects that you have been involved with that are in motion, some things that are coming up. And I kind of just want to just explore a small kind about some of those different.
Sure.
Oh my goodness, you like when He'e, the octopus was so
That's what this is.
and you got that. Oh look,
That's literally what this means. Like
that's right,
all of it
right?
reaching out to the world. Yeah, literally.
And true to that cacao that you got right there, um, not only let's the last time we were together was in 2021 with my Hanai daughter Pualalia Hanaial'i'i, and we started talking about wines.
Yes.
And your comment was it's kind of early in the morning to talk about wine because I'm drinking coffee, and Pualalia said it's never too early to talk
Right.
about wine.
Right. Wine.
Whoa,
Yes.
wines! But your wines now have been acknowledged. Look at this, uh, best of class double wines in
Yep.
2015. As far back as then, it was recognized as the West Coast Wine Competition. Tell us about the journey of your wine, and look at that again. The label on the bottle continues to exemplate exactly who you are and your
Mhm.
journey stuff. Tell us about the wines and what has happened since then.
Well, it's been an amazing journey. How it started was I was doing a concert in Yountville near right on the like right next to Napa, and my wine partners were the sponsors of the event, and it was at this beautiful theater. And we kind of kapila till all hours of the night. That night, I invited them back to the vineyard we were staying on with my band, and we brought all this food, and they brought a whole bunch of wines, and they noticed that I liked Merlot. I love Merlot with like pasta or pesto and cream sauce and like candied bacon and things like that. I just love the combination of the taste. And so Ian White, who's my wine partner now, noticed that I really like that, and he kind of I was like, "Who's this guy following me all around?" But he was trying to sample my taste buds on what I
Oh,
really liked. And then he said, "Hey, would you ever consider doing a celebrity wine?" I said, "Well, go online, go check out who I am, and then in the morning call me and we'll talk story." So he called me in the morning. He's like, "Well, do you want to do it?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course. Hello." So my wines, my wines are I have 11 varietals, and I've been doing it for a while. This my vintages now are a California red blend, California white blend, from Mendocino and Sonoma, and people were asking me to kind of do a blend. So I did that, and that was very successful. And then I did a sparkling rosé called Palihua, in honor of our 25th anniversary of Willie and I writing the song Palihua. So yeah, it's been an amazing journey. I mean, you can literally eat anything with my wines. My wine partner is kind of like, you sure you want it like that?" And I'm like, "I'm absolutely positive." We eat different in Hawaii. We have different sauces. We do a lot of shoyu chicken and teriyaki sauce and pulehu steak, and we our sauces and our taste buds are just different. And I tell you, I have converted many a Heineken drinker. I have the funniest story ever. So when I first came out with the wines, people were like, I had wine tastings literally everywhere in Hawaii. I mean, literally, Long's, Foodland, Safeway, Walgreens. I mean, everywhere you can think of, I was doing wine tastings because I wanted it to go in where my music was, all the Costco's, and I wanted locals to be able to afford it, even though it's at the hoity-toity restaurants. I wanted them to be able to afford it in the more kuahivis of Hawaii. So I was in Pahoa and I was at Walgreens and I was doing a wine tasting, and this auntie came in with all her bottles on, and she had rubber boots and a sports bra and like her shorts, and she's all just bust. And and so she came running up to me and she's like, "Are you Amy Hanaial'i'i?" I go, "Yeah, auntie." She's like, what is all this you doing? I said, oh, would you like to sample my wine? And she goes, no, I drink Heineken. I was like, Auntie, she's like, I don't know how to drink that kind. I was like, let me teach you how to drink this. So I said, here's a little bit of Merlots. When I first came out with my Merlots, and I'm like, here's a little bit of dark chocolate. Now put the dark chocolate in your mouth and let it kind of marinate a little bit, and then take a tiny sip of the Merlot. And she's like, oh, this is so no. So she said, I'll be right back. She ran out. She came back, and she had a box of hair color underneath her left armpit, and a thing of chocolate, and my bottle of Merlot. She's like, can you sign this for Auntie? I'm going home right now. I'm watching Hallmark. I'm not going to do my weed whacking. I'm going right home. That was probably the funniest person that I ever dealt with in a wine tasting. Auntie gonna color her hair and watch Hallmark and eat my chocolate and drink your Merlot. I was like, okay, Auntie. That's probably the strangest one I've had.
So here's the test. Okay, what am I gonna drink if I'm gonna eat kimchi and rice?
Kimchi and rice. My white is really good with that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, my
cold.
white. I'm not really a white drinker. Because it gives me acid reflux, to be honest.
Okay.
And it kind of bubbles my stomach too much. But
Okay.
I had to make it very buttery, so it's very smooth, and I love it. I love my white wine.
Nice.
And
light
for
white
those
wine.
who want to purchase it that aren't in Hawaii, you can hop on my website, amyhawaii.com, and just click on wine, and they'll ship it right to you.
Perfect, because upper right hand corner of your screen is amyhawaii.com. Takes you right there. There you go.
Yeah.
Takes you right there. You can learn about You can learn about Palihua, and there's a nice little some verbiage there. You can go check them out. Go check. Go. Not right now.
Check them, go.
Not right now. Not too rancid. Not too okay.
Just sweet, but that's right.
Rap
I've
lives,
often
right?
wanted to reenact that. Just
Right?
behalf of Hailey wines. Yeah.
Right? Wow.
Yeah.
So I love it that you have in mind, because our cuisine, if you will, sometimes heavy on the salt, sometimes heavy on the very bold seasonings. If it's beef stew, if it's going to be
Yeah.
lau
Red
lau,
wine.
red wine, right? Or we having that you have that in mind, and it makes it so people are not going to be
Palatable.
yes, and folks are not going to be intimidated, because, like you say, wine has been rightly so elevated. I mean, it's wonderful, but many
Yeah.
of the locals are intimidated by the image that wine has with us. Yeah,
My red is so good with squid luau and lau lau.
I
It is
love it.
so good. You take like a piece of the lau lau and you eat it, and you just let it kind of marinate a little bit. Sip my wine a little bit. Oh, it's so good.
Oh, that's wonderful. Hey, we got
Yeah.
lots of friends jumping in because we invite them to
Oh,
be
nice.
part of our conversation. Let's go back. Oh, we have quite a few over here. Let me see. We get Auntie K Bennett. She's on the south side of the Holly over here. She's watching. She's going, aloha, Amy. That's Auntie
Oh,
K.
aloha.
Auntie K right there. And then we get Marty Burns. Aloha Friday. I was looking forward to this broadcast. Love Amy's music. Woo!
Aw, woohoo!
That's brother Marty Burns. And who else is that? Oh, here's Carolina. She and her husband have their own wines as well here in Southern California. And much of their wines come from the Napa area. And so
Mhm.
she's watching with interest as well. She's a beautiful
Yeah.
hula dancer. They have their
Oh,
Ho'ike that's coming up on the 18th of October in Glendale. And her kumu is from Hilo as well. That's a Kumu Chase Wang, and Carolina's one
oh,
other than, yeah. So she is with that halal, and an actor, and just a beautiful person.
I
We
love
love.
it.
Yeah, thanks for joining us,
Carolina,
Carolina.
my wine partner is Ian White, and he's married to Ariana Peju from Peju Winery. In case you're wondering the connection there in
Nice.
Napa. Yeah.
Nice. Oh, we get this brother was on the show last week. Rick Shonley. What's up, brother Rick? He's on Molokai. There you go.
Right. I know Rick.
Oh, we had good fun last week. We talked story, and
I love it.
Brother Rick is amazing. He goes Shaka Aloha Friday from Manai
Yeah,
Molokai.
Manai,
Yeah,
Easton.
yeah, we had good fun. Here we have Reba. What's up? Reba Maraboto saying Aloha Kitty, long time no
Hi, Reba.
see. We're going to talk about Mehiula music in just a little while. Um, and she's saying, "Oh, no disrespect, aloha Kamaka. Yeah, no worries. It's okay. It's okay." That Reba, those two guys so funny over here.
Yeah.
Uh, Reba says, "And the bottle of wine, still have to save the bottle for the tattoo on the bottle." Yes, that's classic. Those are
I always say,
classic.
drink the wine and put candle.
And Carolina says, we met at the Grammy performance with Kalani Pea several years
Mhm.
ago. Yeah, there we go. Well, all right. So if I missed anybody, Kalamai, it was coming in really fast. And I cannot be as, like with Amy, only get two thumbs over here. So, um, please go to amyhawaii.com for all things Amy. Talk about the wines and all of her music as well. Now, you just got back from, well, Arizona, where Maddie graduated. Oh my goodness,
Oh,
look
it's
at you.
hot over there. Holy moly. It just sucks all the air out of your throat. It just like hits you like a heater.
So tell us about Maddie and her educational journey. There she is, our
There's my
daughter
boo
Maddie.
boo.
There she is.
Yeah, she's doing good. She just graduated from esthetician school. That's been her passion her whole life. Um, she's traveled up. She's grown up on tour with me. Went to Japan at least 2, 3 times a year since she was born. She's 19 now, and yeah, finding her way and wants to possibly create her own Hawaiian skincare line, and just loves it. She's very healing with her hands, and it's all the dermabrasion and all that kind of stuff. It's a lot of chemistry, and I was a little bit concerned with her because she was a COVID baby. Her freshman and sophomore year,
Oh, okay.
she was online with the teacher, like Charlie Brown, the wah 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 wah, and so it was kind of difficult, and so, but I'm like, oh, you get straight A's when you actually love what you're doing, yeah. So she did really well in school.
Good. Well,
Yeah,
congratulations.
yeah,
Behind every successful keiki and graduate for the educational process are very happy and proud parents, moms, and dads. And so
yeah.
she's done very good. Alan Dela Cruz says, Happy Aloha Friday. What's up, Alan? Welcome,
Happy
welcome,
Aloha
brother.
Friday.
Yeah. Alan dances with a halau up in Palmdale.
Ooh,
The Aloha from the Heart. He and his sister and brother-in-law are hula dancers, and they just got back from the George Naopi um, uh, hula festival up in
nice.
Northern California. Those guys, yeah,
Aw,
they're first one, so we're proud of those guys as well.
aw.
Okay, so you was in Vegas, not just for gamble or for the buffet. You had
No, I don't
something,
do that.
yeah, you had something
I just have
more.
take all my money. I don't even know. I don't even know.
What happened there was, and as I was checking it out, um, your name and Frank Sinatra. Tell us how that
It's
this kind of met at the crossroads. What happened?
Well, so my tutu was a kumuhula for many, many years and had halau in Vegas and in California. She's one of the OGs, like way back in the day, with Auntie Elaine Montgomery and all those kumu out there. And um, she was very dear friends with Auntie Nalani Kelly, Auntie Nalani Kelly Review, Uncle Mahi Beamer, Auntie Sunbeam. She's very, very dear friends with all the big entertainers of Las Vegas because she had a showroom at the Tropicana for a while, and so became really good friends with all of those, entertainers that were actually playing the lounges back then. It's so different now. So when I'm a Hilton Grand brand ambassador and I do all their concerts in Hawaii, Vegas, and Florida, and I've been doing it. I'm going on my third year,
Right.
and I'm more of like an education. It's more like an education concert where you have timeshare now. So if you come, you have to integrate with the community. You have to give back. You have to understand our winds and rains, and you know what I'm saying. Like I just kind of educate them that we're not the Wiki Wacky Hula show. So especially sensitive areas like Lahaina. Coming back and being very respectful um, and so yeah. So I was playing in Frank Sinatra's showroom, and some of the tech is still there from when some of the like the OG tech guys were still there that runs it.
Wow.
And so he was kind of like, oh, they have like screens on the side of the side of the audience, no like visual tech, like like a projector or anything. So I was kind of like, well, I'm kind of a storyteller. I'm kind of old school entertainment. Like I'm not really into the new Vegas. I'm more into the old Vegas because just all the stories my parents would tell me and my grandmother, and with all the phenomenal entertainers that like the voice was the top priority, not so much the tech. So he was like, okay. And then I finished my show, and he was like, oh my, like you're a whole different ball game. And I was like, oh, thank you, I appreciate that. And he's like, so I'm going to bring you a projector next time you come back. So now he has the whole back wall with like, because I do videos of my grandmother in New York City, and you know all the old imagery, and I'm a storyteller. And so now we become like best friends, and I'm going back next year again to play that showroom. But you can feel Frank Sinatra's mana in there. I mean, it's incredible.
Wow. So this is
Incredible.
this is at the Golden Nugget, yeah? This is
Golden Nugget, yeah.
that was his showroom in the Golden Nugget.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wynn actually created that for Frank Sinatra, that showroom. Yeah,
Amazing.
yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. And so the show was not a Hawaiian show per se, right? I mean, was it, did
Yeah, it was
you,
Hawaiian.
it was Hawaiian. Okay. All right.
It was Hawaiian, but I put in my At Last, and all of my other songs. I take them on a little journey.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because Hilton Grand Vacations, it's like people from Dubai and Pakistan and all of America, and it's just random. I mean, there's a lot of international people, so you got to kind of break it down a little bit for them, you know.
So now this is a separate show you had in which you were giving tribute to R&B and jazz, and so that was a whole different set, a whole different show itself that you had
Yeah,
done.
that's a show that I do here in Maui in Old Kihei. I'm a Kihei girl, right? Kihei school.
Hmm.
And so the area that it's actually that show is in, that theater is in, is actually where I grew up. So I like
Ah,
playing there. I play there once a month just to kind of regroup myself, reground myself. And then I was like, I want to do a tribute to like the rhythm, women of R&B. And now I'm doing one of the women of jazz. And I've just always been one of those kind of entertainers. So it's nice to just get out of myself and do another genre.
hmm. Hmm. Um, so this was that one, that
Mhm.
show in Maui that was a tribute to the women
That's
in
next.
jazz.
Yeah, that one is. This one is coming up this week. So
Perfect.
on Thursday, I'll be doing that show in Maui, in
Wow.
Kihei. Yeah.
I would love to be there on that show, to hear you do that. I hope you forgive me. I snagged this one. The video is not that sharp, well, but you know what? It just grabbed me. It's just a real short snippet over here, and uh, I'm not going to say. I'm just going to share this. It goes really quickly. Here we go. A dream that I could call my own. I found a thrill to press my cheek to, a thrill that I could never know. Smile, you smile. Oh, but then the spell was cast, and here we are in heaven. Hold me down and call me Betty. where, where did that come from? When I saw that on your page, your Facebook page, I said, "Era who? Hello." I was like, oh my goodness. Just to hear that and how you just draw and just pull that out is chicken skin, girl. It is amazing.
Oh,
It's
thank
amazing.
you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Um, so we got some other comments over here. There's TK going, woo chee hoo.
Thanks, Al.
But that reminds me so much of even Hawaiian style when you listen to the old Gabi Pahinui and listen to some of and even some of the old time Hawaiian entertainers, that
Yeah,
guttural
yeah, totally.
right.
A lot of people don't know. I was almost posted it the other night, but I was too tired. I was like falling asleep. Um, that one of the things I loved about Auntie Genoa Keave was not only working with her with breathing and diction and the leo hai hai, but that she sang jazz too. I don't know if a lot of people know, but she sang
Hmm.
beautiful jazz. Like her
Wow.
"Embraceable You" is flawless. And I remember hearing her sing that kind, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, because I just graduated from music school in San Diego, and then I was the house singer at the Ritz Carlton for 5 years, and I literally got booed because I all I sang was musical theater and the entire Bodyguard album of
Oh.
Whitney Houston. That's all I knew. I didn't know anything else, and maybe a few Anita Baker songs, but I wasn't myself. I wasn't composing back then. I was
Right.
fresh out of music school, and this man used to heckle me all the time because the previous singer like had this incredible catalog of music, and I was just finding my I was only like 19, like 20, and I remember going in the Ritz Carlton and just like trying to find my voice. Where am I going to what am I going to do with this voice, saying super loud because I was playing Eva Peron and Hello Dolly and all these epic female characters, and I didn't know how to play myself. So I had and then I met Willie, and then it was all over.
Oh, the stories we could tell.
Oh, the stories we could tell.
Um, but that's I don't want to say you cut your eye teeth or tooth on music theater, right? Coming
Yeah,
out of college. I mean, show tunes and as a classically trained vocalist yourself,
yeah,
with a lot of discipline and with voice and all that. And that pretty much was the mainstay coming out. And then at some point when you came back to Hawaii, back home, and you settled in, uh, at some point the Hawaiian um, started to come through the lo'i over here, started to come through it
yeah.
all, right?
Exactly. My grandmother retired and came home. She actually went to Molokai because most of my family's from Molokai. Almost all my Hawaiian side is from Molokai. And she retired and came home with two 40-foot containers with all of her stuff from Perry's studio. She had a hula studio across from Grauman's Chinese Theater in Hollywood.
Oh
And she
my.
was choreographing all the motion pictures back then, Pagan Love Song and all those big Diamond Head. And she does the one number in Diamond Head where Auntie Lani McIntyre is dancing Tahitian on the back of all of the men hula dancers. So she did big production numbers like that in a lot of the movies. And the retired came home to Molokai, and then she had a heart attack. She had a triple bypass surgery. She
Hmm.
walked herself to the hospital in Kaudakakai from Hana, the Tutu Center, had open heart surgery, and then called us and said, "Oh, you know, I need somebody to come over." They actually the hospital called. My grandma didn't even call. The hospital called and said, "Your grandma just had heart surgery. And so my parents were working. I said, I'll go over. I was in college, my senior year. And I went over and I was staying at her hale in Hana, which is a tutu center. And I opened her cupboards and it's like all corned beef hash, all spam, like Vienna sausage for days. And I'm like, I went up to the hospital and my grandmother was a very interesting woman. Her dad was a bare-fisted boxer. And so she knew how to scrap. Like she'd be all glamorous, but grandma could throw down. Could throw down when she needed to. And so I went up to the hospital in Kaunakakai and the nurse had a black eye. This Japanese nurse had a black eye. And I walk in and they're like, your grandmother is evil. And I'm like, what happened? She's like 80, 85 years old. And I'm like, she knocked me out. And I said, well, she gave the nurse a black eye. And I said, what happened? She said, I said, Grandma, what happened? She said, the nurse was trying to give me a pill. And I asked her, what is that pill? And she wouldn't tell me. She just said, no, just take it. You know, you don't know what you're talking about. And so I knocked her out. I said, Grandma, you can't knock out the nurse. So then I moved her from Kaunakakai. I moved 2 40-foot containers to Maui. And then I started opening my grandmother's catalog of albums. My grandma, I still have them in my storage. Literally about 2,000 Hawaiian albums of all the old music, all her teaching albums. You can see all her choreography on the back of the back of the LPs. And I remember watching my grandma clean her albums with soap and water, like a light cloth with soap and water. And I was like, Grandma, I don't think that's the way you clean those albums. And she's like, no, I've been cleaning it this way for years. I'm like, okay. Then I went online and I Googled it, and it's actually a good way to clean your LPs. So I was like, so then I got a lot of her, there was about a good 100 that she used all the time. I noticed, like, all the old albums. And so I was like, all Auntie Genoa's Party Hula albums, you know, Lena Alahaili, all the old OGs, you know, OGs Kupuna. And I started listening to those and I was like, wow, like everything I've ever learned in music, I can actually apply to my music, you know. And Auntie Genoa always loved that I did that and didn't just, you know, like, in my own compositions, kind of like reached out into those other genres to create my own sound. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So about a year ago, you went kind of full circle in the music theater with Man of La Mancha, a production that while you were in school and in college, you played a female lead in that.
Yes.
And then many years later now, bringing that to Maui and playing those very same characters as well. How did that resonate with you? You know, after all this journey of all this time, there you are. And it was said, and it was an outstanding production. My goodness, outstanding production to the Maui Arts Performing, and it says bringing Broadway to Maui. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
how did that feel after so many years as now from college and now as a mature entertainer now? How did that resonate with you?
Well, you know, Maui's always had a really incredible theater community. I grew up in the theater here in Maui before I went away to music school. I have a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Musical Theater and from San Diego. And so I've always had that. That's been what I've been trained to do since I was a little girl. And when I came home from college, I did Evita. I did Eva Peron in Evita here in Wailuku at the old historic EL Theater, where literally I'm singing Don't Cry for Me Argentina and it's raining because there's a hole literally in the roof. Yeah. And so then I did Godspell. I did a bunch of productions out of college. And then I went into the Ritz-Carlton and became the house singer. And then about 8 years ago, they were doing Evita again. And I was like, hey, you know what? I want to play Eva Peron again. Like that's one of my most epic favorite roles to play. And they're doing it at the Maui Arts and Culture Center. And, out of all of the places I have toured in my life to some of the most beautiful theaters outside of Japan, which are incredible theaters, the Mac is probably one of my top three places to play. So I wanted to play her there because the acoustics, the tech, everything is just top notch. And plus, Maui Academy of Performing Arts is where I grew up when I was young. So I wanted to give back and played her as an older Eva Peron, in my age then. And then the same with Man of La Mancha. I played Aldonza in college. And that was a very meaty role. And it takes a lot of discipline to play those hard roles. And it's a different feeling, like the camaraderie with the cast, giving and taking on stage, playing a character. I can step outside and not play myself, and it takes a lot of discipline, and I really do it to tune myself up. Singing on stage, and I do concerts, and I come in and out, and I tour the planet, and I do what I do. Being in theater is a way different type of discipline. Very, very hard discipline. Yeah.
Wow. Amazing. Truly amazing. With
And it was amazing. It was amazing playing those characters a little older in life. Not too much older, but a little bit older in life. You kind of understood the character a lot more.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. You know what? We're going to take a small time break, and
Okay.
I'm going to share just a couple of messages over here. When we come back, really want to touch on your journey to Norway and to
Mhm.
London. And so Molokai, Maui,
Right.
Norway,
Right.
no, no, Norway. I only went public school. Geography, them bagas
Right.
wasn't my strong suit.
Right.
Yes, you asked me where to find Norway and where to, I can find my way to the corner store, but that's a whole different story. We'll be right back. If you just joined us, mahalo for joining us. We're talking with a wonderful friend, AMY HANAIALI'I, that's on her way to Southern California, and we're talking about her performance on October 4th in Temecula. But we're going to pause for the cause just a little bit, and we will be right back.
We have.
Alrighty then. We're gonna, you know, you know, um, no worry. It's good. It's good. Here's Vanessa. She's saying, so lovely listening to Amy sharing her fond memories. We
Aw,
love
mahalo.
you're such a great storyteller, yo. I love it. So good. um, and we also have there's Kay Bennett. She's still listening to At Last, and she's going, "Damn girl." Uh, and Kay is a wonderful singer. She's got a beautiful voice.
Aw,
She worked Vegas. She was work in Europe as well, and
love
did
it.
so. She's listening to that, watching that, and going, "Oh my goodness,
Aw,
yeah,
thank you. I
yeah."
appreciate that.
So before we went on our short break, Molokai, Maui, Norway, London, um, kind of leads us to a discussion about it's an upcoming PBS special
Hmm.
with family ingredients. And you're able to trace, I mean, the genealogy of your family. You're able to trace both sides of your family with on the Kane side, your father's genealogy going all the way back to England and to London, and then tracing the Norway and all that, and then all the way down to your great grandmother. Um, you can trace 900 years of your
Mhm.
family.
On that side, yeah.
Amazing.
Well, pretty much on the Hawaiian side too.
Hmm.
But
Hmm. How did that all start? To end with this project over here for family ingredients and a new project called Kinohi.
well, so I've been a genealogist for a really long time, maybe probably about 35 years, and it's one of my passions, and it really calms me, and I love how it started was with all my different ethnicities. My mother is half Ojibwe Indian from Wisconsin, half Norwegian. My father was English, Hawaiian, a little bit of French from Canada. And I always found, once I saw pictures of my great great grandparents, I always was like, how did I wind up here? With all of these pure ethnicities, like my great great grandma and my great grandmother, and all my great grandparents on my Norwegian side were all pure Norwegian. And from Norway. And my father on my great grandmother on that side is pure Hawaiian, and then my great grandfather on my Ojibwa side was pure Native American Indian, and then my great grandfather on my English side was pure English from London. And it's like, how did these pure ethnicities, how did it wind up to me? And so I love the stories because I love to talk story, and I'm a storyteller, so I love the stories. And I found that through my music, I've been very blessed to record 18 albums. And I did an album a while back called Aumakua that talks about our Aumakua in Hawaiian, and our guardians, and how they protect us. And I had this woman come up to me in Redondo Beach, and she was like, I have an almakua. And I'm like, well, are you Hawaiian? And she said, no. And I said, well, you can only have an almakua if you're Hawaiian because it's indicative to Hawaiian culture. But where's your family from? And she goes, Ireland. I go, well, I bet you have a guardian that is a specific name in Ireland with your kupuna there. This is part of your journey. Go figure it out and go research it. 2 years later, I was back at Redondo Beach, and here she comes. She's all wide-eyed, like super excited to tell me that their family, Irish Aumakua was a particular owl in that area. And I said, well, there you go. See? And so those stories always intrigued me. And, researching like genealogy and where they lived, and what was happening with the Ali'is of that time, what was happening with the royals in London, what was happening in Norway at the time. My family comes from an area in Norway called Tillemark, my one side of my family. And I just like the struggle that they had, the potato famine they had. There were 80,000 Norwegians in America in 1880. And it was like, wow, it's like, and then, you have everything going on in the political scheme now, everything that's happening now. And it's like, these kupuna were here for a long time.
Hmm.
And so I find that the stories, I love the stories of my kupuna, and I just feel so humbled how hard they struggled for me to be here,
Hmm.
and how easy our life is now compared to how they lived and what they had to go through to get here.
Yeah.
So that led it. That's Liv Birgit. She's a Norwegian genealogist, and I can send you her link for her book. She just came out with a genealogy book. She helped me find my kupuna in Norway.
Wow.
And I just reached out to her and I was like, hey, I'm Hawaiian Norwegian. I'm coming to Norway and I would love to meet you. And come to find out, her kupuna come from the same, that church behind me right there, come from the same graveyard there, the same, literally the same graveyard behind us. And
Wow.
so and that's a whole, that Norway journey was, you know, I don't do like pala pala. I'm not like, I do some paperwork in genealogy, but it's mostly with me is more spiritual. Like I call my kupuna to come to me. I ask them to please come to me and akua, and to please bless, you know, my journey of learning about my kupuna. And that's super important. No matter what nationality you are, it's very important. They want to be found. To me, they want to be found. And their stories want to be told. It's important that Maddie, my daughter, knows all of these stories. And so the family ingredients show that I did is produced by my friend Heather Juni, who's a Hawaiian woman, and she's won a couple Emmys for it. Ed Kinney is the chef on it. He's a award-winning chef in Honolulu. And so we all traveled, and I'd always told her my story about Norway and my Hawaiian roots, and she always found that super interesting. And she's like, "One day we're going to Norway, girl." She said, one of my best friends. I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." And sure enough, she's like, "Okay, we got the funding. We're going to Norway." And I was like, "Huh?" So it was. I don't. Not to get too much into this. What exactly this story was about? I can tell you my genealogy, but the story you got to watch the show because it involves King Kalakaua, and it involves the migrations to Hawaii, and it's just
Wow.
an amazing, amazing story of why Norwegians are in Hawaii. And so my family immigrated from there in 1880. And this place, Tintillamark, that is an actual house, a Norwegian house in Tintillamark. I actually took that photo. And it's kind of like in Ahupua'a. You see how high the mountain is on the other side and the back side? It's kind of like in Ahupua'a, which is a valley. And what's so interesting about this area is that only 3 months out of the year is there no snow. The snow is like 20 feet of snow. It's just crazy how they had to live back then. And there is a river there called, I call it Mana River. I actually wrote a song called Mana River while I was there. It's spelled Moen. So it's kind of like Moen River. But that river is a very powerful river because it had a lot of lead in it. And I found this out when I was researching there and with Liv, the genealogist.
Hmm.
And it has a lot of lead in there. So when the Russians came to build the atomic bomb, they came to Tintillamark because they wanted that heavy lead in that water. And
Ah.
they actually were trying to build the atomic bomb in a cave on the side of the mountain. They dug out
Oh.
this cave. Yeah, it's a heavy story. It's a really amazing. And the Norwegians of that valley were the ones that blew up the cave, and they won the day. And they weren't able to make that, but it was heavy influence there of Russians. And it's kind of like Waikapu. I mean, it's small. I mean, it's not like a massive Ahupua'a. So to have that kind of people come in there was very awkward. But in my journey there, I was trying to find my Haugen side of my family. My mother's Norwegian side, my great great grandmother is a Haugen. And I was trying to find that specific genealogy. So we went there and we didn't have any information. And we didn't know how. Liv was posting on her podcasts and blogs and everything. Hey, we have a Hawaiian Norwegian here that's trying to find her genealogy. And it was an amazing journey. I can't, you have to watch the show to find out how it turned out. But I did find my Haugen family, and just tears of joy and meeting the kupuna and not knowing where their family went to Eau Claire, and
Hmm.
how hard it and the river there and the lake and just everything was absolutely magical. And what I loved is I'm so used to my Hawaiian genealogy because I'm here. I feel everything. I know the places. I know where the graves are. I go visit them. I know my history of my genealogy here in Hawaii because of the timelines, aka Chief of War. And to actually go there in Norway and have that same feeling, when I left Norway, like I was really sad. because my
Wow.
kupuna were like, hey, where are you going? You just found us and now you're leaving again. Like you're this again, now you're leaving. You just came here for the first time and now you're leaving. And that just that sense of that same type of aloha and warmth, deep feeling of my kupuna on my Norwegian side was really incredible.
Wow.
Really an incredible experience. And that was only one side of my family. Yeah.
So that led you to also to London, right? And so
Yes.
that's a whole another
Yes.
area of your
Yes.
genealogy too, huh?
Yes. So my great grandmother, her name was Jenny Ho'okano Kahanui. She's a Kahanui from Molokai. She's pure Hawaiian. And her two brothers, Uncle Kahakahaka, Uncle Kainalua, they used to come over from Wailua Valley, Manai, East End. They used to come over from Wailua Valley, which is only 7 miles to Lahaina from Wailua, Molokai. And they would come to Maui Beach area. You know, Maui Beach here in Kahului, the oldest probably hotel in Hawaii or in Maui. And they used to have an area there called Raw Fish Camp. And they used to come and sell all their fish and, you know, what they had. And actually, my great grandmother, they used to hunt whale on the way from Wailua in a, I don't know if it was a canoe or a skiff, but I mean, this was like late 1800s.
Wow.
And they used to hunt whale on the way, and then they would sell their fish over there. Well, lo and behold, my tutu was polehuing her fish in Kahului Harbor, and my great grandpa Wood, who is family is from London, who I traced while I was there. Um, he came on a sampan from San Francisco. He used to bare fist box on the Barbary Coast, you know, where you crack crab and you drink Heineken on the Barbary, you know,
Yeah.
that's what my band does. But so he used to bare fist box for money back in the 1800s, early 1900s. And he used to bare fist box and he was shanghaied. You cannot write this, okay? He was shanghaied on a sampan boat to Kahului Harbor
Oh my.
and got off the boat and was like, where am I? And saw my great grandmother and said, you are so beautiful. I'm going to marry you. And she spoke English. She spoke broken English, but mostly Hawaiian. And 6 children later, my grandmother was born. So that wood side goes from Hawaii to San Francisco to London.
Wow.
So I first went to London with my cousin Kumumaika Kamohoali'i. We went to do our whole fashion show, London, Italy, and Paris. He was the first native Hawaiian designer to be invited to Fashion Week in Europe. So of course now we're all. They're like, we have models for you up here, and Micah's like, no, we want real women. Like our women are fuller. They eat more. They're a little more healthy. So we're like, okay, well now we're going. So I modeled in that show. Maddie modeled in that show. And when I was there, we were staying at the Royal College because we had 60 people with us and we needed dorms to stay in. There was too many of us to stay in hotels. So we were staying right next to the British Museum. So I was doing genealogy. I'm always doing genealogy. I'm always on my app and like, you know, I figure I knew they were from London. And so lo and behold, I didn't realize that I was right next to one of the graves. And I found my sixth great grandfather. His name was Basil Wood, and he was a hymn writer for Lutheran hymns. And
Hmm.
so anybody from Norway or Eau Claire is Norwegian, is Lutheran. And so my whole side of my family on that side is all Lutheran. Well, my mother had us go to church here in Kahului at Emmanuel Lutheran Church. And I didn't even realize in the upper right hand corner of our hymns, it was Basil Wood.
Huh.
I didn't even put the two and two together that we were actually singing my kupuna hymns. And so I went and I found I found the church that he was, you know, a priest in. He was ordained in Westminster Abbey. And that kind of started that ball rolling. And then right before I left, I was gifted from the British Museum genealogy department. I don't even know how, why, where, divine intervention must be. I got an email of my entire Wood genealogy, the entire pedigree of 900 years of wood.
Oh.
How is that? I don't know if it was because I was next door or I was doing all this genealogy, and but it went from Wood to De Winkhurst. It went from Wood to Atwood to De Winkhurst to the Dukes of Normandy. Crazy genealogy.
Mm-mm-mm.
And I know my grandma didn't know that. My
Wow.
grandma had no idea. So I go to Westminster Abbey, and I find the bust of my kupuna in there, and he was ordained in Westminster Abbey. He actually spoke. Then I'm online on Amazon. I just type in Wood, Basil Wood, and all these books pop up about the Wood family and all of their pedigrees. And it's the same pedigrees that I was gifted. And then how he was ordained in Westminster Abbey. So I go to Westminster Abbey, and I'm with the film crew, and I meet the priest inside there, and I'm like, oh, I'm from Hawaii, and I bring like, mac nuts, chocolate mac nut coffee, I bring like a little gift for him, and he's like, oh, he's like, because it's an entire church filled with tourists, and here I come with all my pala, all my genealogy, and he's looking at me like pictures of Basil Wood, and my great grandfather was ordained in this Westminster Abbey, and he's like, yes, he was. Would you like to meet your other family? So I went
Oh.
next door to the small church, and it was all Atwood family in there. I met the oldest effigy in the. I was listen to this. I'm sitting there with Heather, the producer of Family Ingredients, and we're sitting on this bench. And underneath the bench, I see this kupuna buried. Like, it wasn't like we're sitting on top of it. It was kind of like it was below us, but I didn't realize that that was an effigy. That's when they're they're buried in the ground there, but it's their entire. I don't know how to describe it. It looks like them on the entire top
Huh.
of the burial,
Okay.
and so it's called an effigy. And I remember seeing that, and then I find out that that's my kupuna. After doing all this genealogy back and researching all of that, that gift that British Museum gave me, I researched all. I was like, oh my gosh, I literally saw that kupuna, like right there. And it's just amazing how when you start doing genealogy, you really realize how they're around you all the time.
Mm-hmm.
When you kind of puka that through and you really in your heart and your na'au want and ask for that genealogy,
Mm.
you have to want it with everything in you, you know, and they'll come. They're everywhere. It's amazing.
Amazing.
So yeah, that was my London, and then the priest, he kept following me around Westminster, and I'm there, with my all my paperwork, and I'm like, okay, now I get this. I know where you're buried. Okay, now I know where you're buried. Kind of thing, and he's just looking at me like, I've never met anybody like you. He told me. So did Lynn Burgett, the genealogist on for Ancestry. She's like, I've never met anybody like you. I go, oh, is that a good thing? She goes, no, it's an amazing thing.
It's
I
an
go, oh, thank
amazing
you.
thing. Here's a good friend of ours, Catherine Bachnight. She's saying aloha, Amy, and
Aloha.
Kamaka. Catherine is a dear friend. She is a photojournalist. It's just amazing. You can Google her name, and there's some amazing things. If I'm not mistaken, let me see. That's right. Catherine says she just returned from Norway because
Oh, I love it.
her son and her mo'opuna live in Norway along with her daughter-in-law, and she was just there. And so she was. Let's see. She says which church? I think she says yeah. Which church were you at in Norway? She may know. Did you say which church
It's
that was?
it's the one in Tintillamark. It's the
Okay.
first church, literally, when you go into Tintillamark. It's right there.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, Catherine and I have had some great stories about, she shared some great stories about Norway, and
Oh,
I'm glad you jumped on, Catherine.
yeah, definitely.
That's really really cool. Um, and in fact, Reba is going, "Wow, chicken skin." Yeah, right. Oh my goodness.
One of the epic things that I did while I was there was I got to sing with the Somni artist. I
Ah,
chanted and the Somni artist sang. Yoided. That was
nice.
amazing.
I
Yeah.
guess Catherine's family is in Oslo,
Mm,
in Norway.
beautiful.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And she's saying thank you so much. Yeah. Um, and Auntie Heri and Duha, this is our resident kupuna, Auntie Heri. She says,
Oh,
I'm catching the tail end of this. I just got home. Aloha to all, Auntie Heri, Harrison, and Duha.
oh, aloha, auntie.
Auntie Hetty is so wonderful. She teaches hula to a kupuna here in Southern
Oh,
California, highly respected. We we were just talking about COVID when she was doing Zoom. She was learning how to Zoom, and she had 40 of her ladies on multiple screens, and she was trying her
love it.
best to keep contact.
Get it, auntie.
And she's a go-getter, that Auntie. We love her so
Love
much.
it.
She and Uncle Larry are wonderful supporters of the Aloha Friday show and Sandwich Island Social Network. We love them dearly as well. All righty, my goodness, the time has gone by so quickly, but I wanted to share with all of our friends that we're really excited about you coming to the continent. I don't say mainland, mainland is the Aina, my home on Oahu. I say the continent.
Right. I agree with you.
Us
I concur.
the big island of America. When they say, "Oh, you're going mainland," yeah, I'm going back to Oahu. I'm going to visit my family on my mainland. They go, "Oh, Kamaka, lighten up." But, but you are on your way. Meheula Music is producing a series of wonderful, wonderful talent coming through, and
Yes.
this one is coming up October 4th in Temecula at
We are going to have a wee hot time, I tell you.
Old Town Temecula Community Theater. Tell us about what we can expect, or you just want to keep surprise us?
Well, that kino. Well, we didn't get into the kinohi thing, but I'm working on a kinohi project right now in
Ah,
doing a tour in November here in Hawaii, and it's about all my genealogy and a lot of footage from that Norway trip. And I'll be
mm,
bringing some of that to Temecula too, and sharing some of those mo'olelos. But yeah, maybe even a couple of the new songs I'm probably going to do.
sweet.
Um, yeah, yeah, that's going to be a really fun show. I love that theater in Temecula.
It's a fun theater, yeah. Really, there are no
Yeah,
bad seats. There are no bad seats. I mean, they're all of it.
no, and I have Kauai's Polynesian dancers that are going to be dancing
Oh,
during that night, so
nice,
I'm looking
nice,
forward to that.
nice. So,
Yeah.
at the top of the screen, you can see temeculatheater.org. You can go and grab your tickets. Tickets are going really fast. We're really excited about you
Yay.
being with us. Going to be good fun. And the tickets, we opened it up in August, and they're going really, really fast. And time is coming. It's not too much time coming up on
I
August,
know,
October. Gonna come
right?
fast. Gonna come fast, fast, fast. Let's just talk briefly before I let you go over here. We wanted to share about one of your wonderful projects, and that is the Kino'ohe project. Tell us about that, Amy.
So I just started a nonprofit called Kinohi, which is your origins of where you come from, and it's an amazing nonprofit of going back to the source in music, in hula, in storytelling, um, and it's a collaboration. So um, the project that I'm doing, the touring I'm doing in November, is called Kinohi, and it's bringing all those genealogies together and doing workshops and um, genealogy workshops and music workshops and things of that sort. It's very brand new, so I'm really looking forward to like bringing that to life. But the first ones that I'm doing are in November, the first concerts.
And that's going to be on Maui.
Yeah, so I'm doing, let me give you the dates real quick. So I'm doing the Maui Arts and Culture Center on November 14th. Then I'm doing Hawaii Theater on November 21st. And then I'm doing Kahilu Theater on November 23rd.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah, it's
So
going to be amazing. Yeah.
so the Kinohi collaboration seeks to uplift Native Hawaiian voice, history, and mana through sound. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's
So like when,
beautiful.
when we voyage out on these, like for instance, when we went to Europe, and we did London, Italy, and Paris. We're doing workshops while we're there. We're doing lei making and oli workshops and mele workshops, and it's just got to a time where this point in my life, it was time for me to start a nonprofit, a Hawaiian nonprofit. And so that is kind of the pinnacle reason of why this all came to fruition.
Beautiful,
Yeah,
beautiful, beautiful. Oh my goodness. I know we started talking about your cacao that you have over here with the octopus and the many projects and the many wonderful endeavors that you are connected with, and so beautiful. You touched on a
thank you.
PBS special that you did that you also and I had this over here. I think yeah.
That was all the filming in Norway and London. When I was actually in Tintillamark, the
Mm-hmm.
PBS crew was there with me filming the whole time.
Wow.
It's a whole story. It's really important that you tune in and watch the whole story because it's involves King Kalakaua, and he commissioned 2 ships to come to Hawaii, and it's a whole why Norwegians are here in Hawaii, and it's an amazing story. And then I went to Norway with some of the researchers that researched that whole thing, and I actually went to Drammen, where the 2 ships were commissioned from King Kalakaua to land here in
Oh
Maui.
my.
It's an amazing, it's an epic story. But then my genealogy and my journey is woven into the special,
All right.
so
So
it's
we're
very
look
special.
gonna look forward to it. It's a PBS special called Family Ingredients. It's coming out
Yes,
next year, probably. Yeah,
next year.
by next year
Yes,
coming out.
yep.
There's Muriel. Hi, Muriel. Thanks for joining us. She goes so interesting.
Oh,
Thank you,
aloha
Muriel, for
tui.
joining. Yes, 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 yes. Here's our this is our man who works all the magic behind the scenes over here, Nate Jones.
Ah,
He goes, Mahalo for coming on the show again, Amy. I'm looking at the Friends and Family of Hawaii CD that you signed for me after your show at the Ford Theater in Hollywood
oh,
2011.
wow, that's a great theater. I remember that show.
Yeah. Um, so I think, my goodness, I think what we didn't talk about, and maybe you want to do that, is this epic tale of Hiaka, a Broadway
Sure.
show. Oof.
Yeah.
And
This is
You're playing Pele?
thing Pele, yeah.
Oh.
This is a very out of in everything encompassing my entire life is all come to this moment.
Oh.
And it's I was asked by Kumu Patrick Makuakane to this has been in the works for 10 years, the epic tale of Hi'iaka, the tumultuous story of Hi'iaka and Pele, the sisters. And it's a musical, and it was written by some amazing people. Kaylee Rachel was the cultural advisor. Kumu Patrick Makuakane was a cultural advisor. But the producers are Michael Jacowitz, who did Kinky Boots on Broadway, and Scott Schwartz, who did Wicked. So they're all very legitimate
Wow.
producers of
Yeah.
Broadway. And Michael actually moved here to Maui for 10 years to curate and work on this musical. And they've done 3 table readings they call them table readings, where they play the characters, but they don't actually act it. They act it out at the table and sing it at the table. And, in a very controlled setting. It's not like it's in a theater. So they did a couple of those, but they've been looking for Pele for a super long time. And Michael saw me in Manila La Mancha at the Mac because he lives here now. And so he's always said, how come we not use Amy for Pele? And so my Patrick Makuakane and I are working on this television show right now called Hawaii to the World, which
Hmm.
is like a hybrid Brown Bags to Stardom of all the talented people here in Hawaii. And we're filming on each island. Then we're coming to Vegas. Then we're going to Japan with it. And we're the judges. Me, Lehua Kalima, Hina Wong. We're all the judges for it. And so they either do a song or they do a chant or they act out a scene or comedy or music. And so Patrick was looking at me one night. I was like, he kept staring at me all night. So I'm like trying to figure out what that was all about. And then he called me and he's like, hey, I have an idea. And I'm like, what? He's like, would you ever think about playing Pele? And I was like, come again? Like, would you ever think about playing Pele? And I'm like, well, what? I don't even know what it is you're doing. And so he explained the whole Broadway musical. And it is kicking my okole, let me tell you. But I love a
Oh.
challenge. And I never thought in my wildest dreams that I would be playing my kupuna on Broadway.
Mm-mm.
I mean, this is not just anybody. This is
Yeah.
Pele. And sometimes I watch the videos of her on YouTube of, in Hawaii Island right now and all of her glory. And I'm just like, the music is so beautiful. They have done such an amazing job with the music, the story, the mo'olelo of everything. It's all of the tales, it's all of the stories of her and her journey from Tahiti to Hawaii. And it's quite a, I pulley a lot on this one
I
because,
bet.
I'm just like, oh. So we're presenting it. So after Temecula, I go to CNHA Hawaiian Council in Washington. We have our big Center for Native Hawaiian Advancement conference. Now they called it the Hawaiian Council. It's like 3,000 Hawaiians of everything Hawaiian. And we're going to be previewing an hour performance of that show.
Oh my.
And that's the day after Temecula. So I'm like, oh.
That's like Reba says,
It's a lot.
no pressure. Reba says, no
No
pressure.
pressure.
No pressure.
I'm chanting, I'm acting, I'm singing. The songs are super high belt in that Ava Perón belt. So thank God I'm trained in that,
Yeah.
But it's amazing. So what they're going to do is we're in rehearsal when we come back all the way till the end of next year. Then they're going to preview at Leeward Community College for 1 month in front of audiences to flush it out and the tech and all that. Then they're going to do a hybrid version of it at Ko'olina. And then they're deciding if they're going to go to London or Broadway after that.
Amazing.
So it'll be the first Broadway show ever of this kind that is Hawaiian.
Whew.
Yeah.
And has your fingerprints all over that. I love it. I love it. Mahalo. Yeah. Mahalo nui, Amy, for sharing all of the wonderful news. And we become privy to some stuff that we wouldn't ordinarily hear or talk. I love it. Thank you for sharing that. The mo'olelo, the stories, and all of our folks really enjoy it. And so we want to remind you folks, we'll see you all October the 4th in Temecula. Grab your tickets now, top of the screen, temeculatheater.org. Yes. You can see Amy live and direct right there, and let her know you saw her on the Aloha Friday show, and and as well. And let me see. I also see has said, practice on the flight back. Oh, what? People in the plane can, if you're going to start rehearsing some of the songs.
You want to hear a funny story?
Yeah,
so
please.
I had to go up country because I'm going to Japan in a week. And I had to go up country to go have my guitar player sign his forms. And I'm in my car and I'm doing my Pele songs. And there's lightning and thunder and it's so loud. And I'm like yelling. And I'm like, I'm like yelling. And I turn to my right and this guy in a white Tacoma, he's like looking at me like, and you hear like thunder and lightning coming out of the car. It's so funny.
I love it.
Super funny.
Reba says aloha and
aloha,
mahalo. We love you guys. You and what's the name of the other guy that hangs out around you, Reba? Oh, Jim. Yeah, okay. We love you too, Jim. All right, everybody. Again, mahalo nui for everybody for jumping on, making it such an enjoyable session of the Aloha Friday show. We'll see you all in Temecula on the 4th of October.
Yes, come. It's a big fun.
Yes. So until then, we're going to see all you guys next time on the Aloha Friday show. You guys all be careful out there. Safe huaka'i wherever you go. And as we say on the Aloha Friday show, ahui ho, until we see you next time. Aloha no!
Aloha! Oh, I like that music.